Good morning. Had a great time here at the campground last night. I'll tell you more about it in a minute, but thought I would show you these deer just hanging out here first. All right, so here's a rundown of what was supposed to happen last night and what actually happened. It was a great night. Fresh Grounds, who was the guy that did trail magic yesterday morning, had an incredible breakfast and fun, neat guy. He said he was going to try to go ahead, I think I mentioned this yesterday, and get a campsite for us all at Big Meadows Campground, where I ended up staying. And he was going to text another guy and myself, just let us know whether he was able or not able to get one. So I kept looking for his text. I never got it, ever, all day long. So anyway, I went on to the camp, and instead of going around it, I just went there and talked to him. The whole campground was full, but they kind of, showed me over to the side and said, we never, are you hiking the AT? And I said, yeah. And they said, well, we never turn away AT hikers. So we've got a little spot for you. There's no trees there. It's not very good. It's a tiny little spot, whatever. I said, I don't care, man. You can put me middle of the road, or, I'll sleep on this table here as long as there's just a place I can put my food in a bear box. So they, charged me the regular price, which I kind of figured maybe I'd split with the guys, when they showed up. But anyway, then they put me in this little spot, so it was great. So, long story short on whatever happened with everyone else, I never heard a word, never saw a single person from yesterday. So, I don't know. There's a shelter about 3 miles beyond, or so, maybe 3 or 4 miles beyond the campground. So I'm assuming that they probably just hiked onto that. I'm not sure why, but anyway. So I stayed there, and I went in and did my laundry, took a shower. There were a million people, the whole place. I mean, it was like Grand Central Station. There had to be, I don't know. I mean, there were hundreds of people camping. They extended the hours, so instead of it just being 9 to 5, which they had been open only 9 to 5 up to that point, they extended the hours to 7. So that was awesome, because I think I even mentioned yesterday I wasn't gonna have time to get everything done. So I was able to do a load of laundry, wash and dry it. Was able to go take a shower, get all cleaned up, and put on my clean clothes. Got my tent set up. While I was doing my laundry, I would talk to a couple of people that were in there doing their laundry, and then an old guy comes up, wearing a real dirty, biking shirt, biking outfit, and he's kind of doing the same thing that I'm doing, that we're all doing out here, but he's on his bike. And so he said, man, I'm staying in one of the nice cabins tonight, and I'm going home tomorrow. He said, are you through hiking? I told him what I was doing, and he said, well, come here. And he pulled out a bag of just stuff from his car, and hikers do that all the time out here. When you have too much food or not, something you don't want anymore, whatever, you put it in a hiker box, and they had a hiker box there. Instead of putting it in there, he just gave me the bag and said, anything you want from here, just take it and put the rest in the hiker box. So that was awesome. So I went through that and got a few things out, because that was a big reason why I was going to stop here in the first place, is because I had to pick up a few groceries to get myself to the next stop. But as it so happened, with the trail magic yesterday for breakfast, and with this guy's generosity, I didn't have to buy anything. So that was great. So I sat and talked with him for a long time. He had some good stories while I was waiting for my clothes to wash and dry. And Then, you know, blah, blah, blah. I hung out, walked around a little. I ended up going over to the lodge to have a quick dinner. And so I had some real food anyway. Slept great. And here I am. I think that's the whole story. Good enough anyway. So it was a good experience. The campgrounds are not cheap. You know, it's like $20 to stay at the campground. Seems like kind of a lot, but I mean, you can get several people on a site. So, I mean, you know, if you had 3 families going, you know, it would be really cost effective. But for one person, it's not so much. And the food, you know, if you're going to go there and buy groceries or buy snacks and stuff, you know, you're going to pay $2.50 for a candy bar. I mean, it's like going to the movies. So, you just have to be careful with that. But it was great, and the people were great, and the rangers were awesome and helpful. And now I'm back on the trail, heading to Linden for my next post office box. Woo-hoo! Who knows, maybe I'll even meet up with those guys this morning and find fresh grounds and get some trail magic. But if not, still, this has been a wonderful night, a wonderful day so far. Well, I don't know if you can see this sign, but looks like there's a little bit of a detour on the trail. So we're gonna be going up around on the road for a short bit. So I'm actually hiking with a guy whose trail name is Leafy Green. And yeah, we've been having a good brisk hike this morning. Met him at Fresh Grounds breakfast. So I met up with everybody, found everybody. Actually, I was walking along and I passed a girl this morning, and I knew there was a girl with this group. See, there's this whole group that's been following along, and Fresh Grounds been feeding them, you know, breakfast and sometimes dinners. And I didn't know, you know, most of the people, and I've just kind of been on the fringes of the group. And I knew there was one girl in the group. Her name was Puddles. And so when I passed this girl, I just said, "Hey, is your name Puddles?" And she kind of looked like, do I want to say yes? But anyway, it was her, and I told her my name, and she said, "Oh yeah, I've heard your name too. We just haven't met each other." So anyway, she told me where the group was, and I met up and had a good breakfast, blueberry pancakes. So anyway, also met Leafy Green, and we've been hiking along this morning. So yeah, I'll introduce you to him later if he wants to be introduced. Well, how about right now?
Hey.
Leafy Green.
Hey, Leafy Green.
So Leafy Green just got his name.
Yeah, just the other day.
Yeah. So anyway, we're just hiking along the road here for a bit, and I think there's a place up here called Skyland Resort. Not that we're going to go enjoy any resort activities, but I think we are going to stop and just fill up our water bottles and maybe use the restroom or something. So, whew, catch up with you in a while. So we're here at the Skyland Resort, like I said, just to fill up water and stuff, but I ran across this thing. I wasn't sure what it was, but it's like a bike maintenance sort of whole center or something. It's got all sorts of tools on cables. It's got a pump that is like integrated, and how cool is that? I mean, yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow, man. They should have more of those things around. Very cool. I guess there must be a lot of bikers coming through here, so. All right, let's find some water. I've been hiking for quite a long time today. Several hours now for sure, since I got such an early start. And if everything pans out, this will definitely be my longest hiking day ever, because everybody I'm hiking with is going to be doing around 20 miles. And I started 3.5 miles before them, since I stopped the campground last night and they kept going to the next shelter. So, yeah, I think probably going to end up doing 23.5 miles, something like that. And I think probably about 11. I still have 11 left from right now, so about halfway. Been a really good day though, you know. This is the first time since I've been on the trail this year. The first time really since my stint that I did last year from Georgia into North Carolina when I first got on the trail. Is my first time that I kind of feel like, you know, I got a group here that I'm hiking with that's fun and enjoyable. And, you know, I've certainly met a couple of people this year, hiked with them a little bit, but, you know, it's different when it's a group, you know, the whole group dynamic. And so, yeah, you know, we pull in the morning for breakfast, and there's a handful of us there that know each other. Then we take off and, you know, kind of crisscross here and there. One guy passes, another guy slows down, you stop and talk and have a snack together, you know, whatever. So yeah, and it's been great hiking with Leafy Green, who apparently they just gave a name to yesterday because he's been advised because of kidney stones not to eat leafy greens anymore. And so it's kind of a joke because I guess he never did. He hates leafy green vegetables, so whatever. That's his name. Anyway, it's been awesome hiking with him. I found out that he knows a whole bunch about Wim Hof and the Scott Carney book about Wim Hof called What Doesn't Kill You. So if you don't know anything about it, you should look into it, read it. It's pretty fascinating stuff, very interesting. But yeah, we've just been sharing information on that, and he knows definitely more than I do. He's taken one of Wim Hof's 10-week online courses, and so anyway, it's been a really good conversation, and it's made hiking a lot easier. And you know, I think I'm gonna do this 23 miles today, no problem. And I think, you know, being with this group is all part of that. So anyway, hopefully we're gonna meet up with Fresh Grounds again tonight and have some dinner. He said Cajun rice is on the menu, so fingers crossed. All right, get back to it. So it's 4th of July weekend in a parking spot that would normally be totally empty when we come through. It is packed with people at every table. It's like a little carnival. Just gonna stop and get some cold water here at the spigot and get going again. That picnic ground had a really nice cold water fountain and spigot to fill up the water bottles and drench your head in. So that cooled me down a lot. And now I'm off again. Got a little bit of a climb here, and then it's mostly downhill for the rest of the day. It's just about exactly 10 miles, maybe just barely more, to get to where Fresh Grounds said he was gonna be tonight. And what else? I think after this little bit of climb, like I said, it's mostly downhill, but there'll be one more pretty big, decent climb later that will, you know, especially right now in the heat of the day, will get me for sure. And I'm hiking a little different today since I'm with this group, so haven't done as much as I might have done otherwise by this point. So two sort of random things, not necessarily related to this day. One, I had an Appalachian Trail thru hiker tell me that the other day when I mentioned that I met the trail maintenance guy who told me that I'm a Lasker, a long section hiker. instead of just a section hiker. Well, this AT through hiker told me that it's actually a lasher, not a lasker, and that's the terminology everybody uses. So, nice view back there. So, I have no idea. I haven't heard it ever, except now from one person and once from another. So, if you guys know, or you have an opinion, throw it out there. You know, comment here on this video and let me know if you know. But probably I'll go with what the AT through hiker said. The person was obviously on the AT for an entire, length, and so probably heard it a lot. So I'll start referring to myself as a lasher from now on. Long section hiker. And secondly, some people up here congregating, so I'm gonna wait till I get past them and I'll tell you. Ooh, the suspense. Secondly, one of the two guys that I've been hiking with today brought up the 40-mile challenge, which I don't recall hearing about before, but maybe there's all sorts of different challenges here, on the trails. 24-hour challenge, see how many miles you can do in 24 hours and all sorts of stuff. So the 40-mile challenge apparently is when you get to the very end of Virginia. I mean, I haven't added it up, but I guess it's right around 40 miles to hike from Virginia through West Virginia, which is hardly anything, it's just a little stretch, then all the way through Maryland to and into Pennsylvania, all in one stretch, all at once, one day. I guess in 24 hours, although I don't think I'd want to hike for 24 hours. But anyway, it just basically means doing a 40-mile day, and apparently the terrain's not too bad. So since the terrain isn't too bad, it maybe makes it a little easier to do 40 miles. So, like I said, at the end of today, I will have done around 23 miles, at least to the place where we're going to be eating dinner, and then, maybe we'll do another mile or two beyond that. But, let's say even I do 25 miles. I mean, another 15 miles beyond that, that's almost like another day. So, that'd be pretty tough, but I won't be at that point until about a week from now, maybe slightly less. So it's possible that, I'll be feeling even better. Maybe I could do it anyway. The three of us kind of said, yeah, we think we're going to try it. And if we can kind of stick close together, we might do it together. So I think in my next box that I pick up in Linden, Virginia, here in just a day or two, could even be tomorrow, but I think it's probably the next day. Anyway, I should have the guide sheets. Actually, I think I already have them. Anyway, I need to check the terrain. I need to just look at whatever the issues are and just see if it's something I think I can do. My one and only concern I have so far about the 40-mile challenge is that I've shipped myself a box to Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. Harper's Ferry's a pretty iconic spot to stop on the trail. An iconic little town, city. So that day that I'm trying to do the 40-mile challenge, I will have to hike into Harper's Ferry and get a box at the post office. Open it up, sort through my stuff, throw away the trash, load my pack back up. So that could present an issue, wasting a couple hours out of my day. We'll just have to see. So I'll keep you posted. All right, so came across the bird's nest number 3 hut. Of course, this is just a shelter, but as I've mentioned already in Shenandoahs, they're called huts, as they are in some places up north as well. Anyway, yeah, this this is the first one I've seen on the trail, basically. Bare pole and bare box here, so that's awesome. But yeah, they all seem to be quite a hike off of the trail. But bird's nest is right on the trail, so very convenient. And if I had known that, I might have waited and stopped to have lunch or something there. But I'm moving right now, so no stopping me. Never gets old when you're actually here. I hope it's not getting too old to you guys watching it on the screen. Never gets old. Moved quite a distance because that kind of pond thing in the middle of the screen I remember seeing earlier today from way over in that direction. Seeing it that way. So, yeah. I'm making some miles. So I think, I can't remember if I told you this already yesterday or something, but anyway, I never did find sunscreen anywhere. The loft campground the other day didn't have any at the camp store. I think I told you that. Then I was at the Big Meadows yesterday, and their camp store, and nowhere there had it. And I didn't go to their big grocery store because it was like almost a mile away, and I didn't need anything else, so I was gonna walk all the way there and back. And today I was at the Skyland Resort thing. You know, I just pulled in to use the restroom and fill up our water, and they had none. Well, actually they did. They had like a big can of spray on stuff. I think it would weigh a ton, and so I didn't get that. So, again, maybe I mentioned this, but I'm getting a package in Linden, Virginia, in a day or two. And I think there's like a gas station, some stuff there, so I'm hoping I can find maybe a tube of some sunscreen or something. So for the time being, what I'm doing is, even though I ran out a couple days ago, it's a twist-up stick, you know, kind of like deodorant, I think I said. And so what I did is I just took that apart, and kind of down inside where the mechanism is, there are some chunks of deodorant that kind of held it into the plastic insert. And so every day I've been popping one of those little chunks out that fits in there. It's kind of a triangular piece, and it's just about enough. One of those little triangular pieces, just about enough to rub on both arms and hands really well for one day. So, and then, you know, my hat's pretty much keeping my face good, and I'll rub a little bit from my arms onto my neck. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I think I've gone through 2 of those chunks now. So, plus there was a little extra like at the cap, and so I think I have 2 more days worth, which hopefully will work out perfect if I can find some in Linden. So, I don't know what I'll do if I can't. I guess I'll get a little bit of extra sun, on my arms for a couple of days. It's been so fun coming down this portion of the trail. There's big rocks everywhere, so I can just jump from rock to rock to rock. Never touch the ground, just bounding down the hill until I get a wobbly one. I tell you what, something's definitely happened to me in the last couple of days. I just have a different energy, a different amount of stamina, and different strength for sure in my legs, much more assuredness. So, yeah, it feels great. It feels great to hike like this. I am so thankful I got to stay on the trail this extra time, because if I'd gotten off the trail even a week ago, I would not have gotten to feel this. Oh, finally fell off the rocks. Okay, fast forward an hour, and that feeling has passed. I am at about 19.6 miles for the day. Another, whatever, 3 to go or something. And it is hot. I am tired. I'm ready to get where I'm going and stop. Lay down, cool off, relax. And I'm thinking, I'm just now at 19.6, and I think in a week I might do a 40-mile challenge. We'll see. I guess I could pace myself a little better than I did today if I'm going to do 40 miles. Wow. Okay.